Hey folks, I'm going to show you some hordes today. This is an army I had made up for myself. Yeah, it's kind of scattered around. Let me tell you what's in it. First off, it uses alternate models almost exclusively. These are converted Chaos Hounds from the Warhammer Fantasy range. We put regular tails on them, and also got rid of some of the chaosy stuff there. And those are, I think it's called Warhounds or Warwolves or something like that. So anyway, and then I have large Warp Wolves. I'm actually running these guys as Warp Wolf Stalkers. And these are from the Rackham range. They're very handsome models. They're out of print. I'm using the Epic Kaya the Moon Hunter. This is the standard published model. Quite beautiful. And her animal companion Laris here. And here's a couple more Wolfen from the Rackham range. This one's called Kiliox. I'm quite fond of these models. I picked them only because I thought they were cool looking. And I'm going to run these as pureblood Warp Wolf, and I don't know what I'm going to do with him. But if you add up the points, it's about 40 points sitting on the board right here. I got to add a few other things. Oh, here's some homebrew shifting stones, really quite handsome. And I'm going to show you a little, tell you and show you a little bit about Orboros. This is a great list. This is one of the cheapest armies money-wise to pick up, because to get to the 50-point mark you only need Kaya and Laris, shifting stones, 4 wolves, and for the large wolves, some war wolves, a unit of druids, and one other thing I can't remember off of the top of my head, and that actually makes a Kaya the Moon Hunter tiered list all the way to tier 4. So just want to show you a little tactic thing here. So it's basically you line up your guys like this. You keep Laris back a little bit, and but not too far. And you've got Kaya with 6 fury. That's how much fury she has. That's what's going to power her spells. And you have just 2 Warp Wolf Stalkers here. And the idea is you're going to pick off a major part of your opponent's army without him being able to do anything about it. So here's how it works. You activate Kaya first, and she casts, she moves up like this. 6-inch range. She uses 2 fury, and she casts Forced Evolution. She casts Forced Evolution on this guy. And so now Forced Evolution gives them +2 strength and +2 defense. And then you're going to use the last 2, and you're going to use Laris's Animus, which is called, I'll look this up here, called Spirit Shift. And so when she uses that, she moves to a place within 3 inches of Laris, so you put her right over here. So she's done her damage, and she's shifted away. Now you could, if you had a third large war beast there, you could just not shift her. You could just have her set up correctly at the beginning of her movement. You just move her out to a safe distance like that. Because your opponent has a threat range. So if you imagine that as like bubbles around all of his guys, it means outside of wherever those bubbles are, your opponent simply can't hurt you. There's just no way for him to have the range to do that. And that's especially true of Khador. So anyway, she could theoretically put Forced Evolution on a third guy. But we're not going to worry about that for now. We're just doing we're pretending like it's a 35-point battle. And I might point out that 35 points, this would really be half of the Khador army right there at most. So So she moves out of the threat range there to a safe location, safe distance. And now you activate the, so you use her feat. Her feat, that's the last thing that she does. Her feat is called Call of the Hunt. She can force war beasts in her battle group even if they're outside her control area. That's important because if you're going to move her off to a very safe distance, they might not be within 12 inches of her in order to be forced. At the end of the activation, each war beast in her battle group, you can place the war beast anywhere within 3 inches of Kaya. Call of the Hunt lasts for 1 turn. See, and I've already messed that up because you really do need her to be within 12 inches, and she is here, so she's still within command radius, what's it called, her control zone. Oh, and by the way, I'm new to this. I'm just trying to work this out. I'm doing a little practice run here because War Machine and Hordes is a very complex game. It's very rich. So there is actually something to actually setting up your army and doing sort of a dry run, a training run for things. So you don't make so you can see mistakes that you're making. Oh, okay, that doesn't work that way, which I just did because my original strategy was this. It was run up with the 6 focus, use 2 for dogpile. That's a 10-inch range on him. So that kind of marks him so everything can free charge. And that's very important, as you'll shortly see. And then use 2 for forced evolution, 2 for forced evolution. You can actually that is not a bad strategy. You could forego, as you'll see, this is plenty of a strong combination without the forced evolution. So one option is she moves up, she does dogpile on him. It's a 10-inch range. So this is actually close. This is more like 8 inches there. So it's only a 4 up to hit because it's defense 10 and she has a focus of 6. So it's a 4 up to hit. So that would mark him with dogpile, right? And that would cost 2 fury. And then she can do forced evolution here. And before I thought it was that Laris used the power and summoned her. But it turns out I'm incorrect. She has to use the power and zap back to Laris. Now that I've done that, it doesn't matter if she's within 12 inches to force them. Oh, and by the way, Kaya does have a power called Alpha, which is models in her battle group beginning their activation in her control area can run, charge, or make slam or trample power attack without being forced, which is an insane power, especially when you're running 4 heavy war beasts. And she can run that engine. So in this case, what I did is I used Laris's Animus for 2, dogpile, and forced evolution on just 1 of the stalkers. So let's roll with that just to be safe. I have some shifting stones kind of as a backup. These guys aren't on the board at all. So I'm doing this trick just with Kaya and the 2 war beasts there. So I activate this guy. He declares a charge here. So and remember, with dogpile, he doesn't need to be forced. No, doesn't need line of sight. Has plus 2-inch movement and gains Pathfinder. So if you do the math, that's a 6-inch base move, 3 inches for a charge, 2 inches for dogpile. And so with reach, which is what the guys have, the stalkers have, they have a 13-inch threat range. So you move this guy up like this. Okay. Oh, and you choose out of his controlled warping powers, you choose warp strength, so plus 2 strength. So right now with the forced evolution, this guy is at 20 strength. So we do his initial attack. Let's do the greatsword. It's a 4 up to hit. So that hits even with the 4. It's rare to miss, really. And then it's damage 20. His armor's 20. So anything I roll on this goes straight onto his boxes. That's 10. So let's set that aside as damage. I've done 10 damage. By the way, Khador Heavy Jacks have at least 30. This particular one has 34 boxes on him. Now I'll go ahead and do his Claw, which is a slightly weaker attack. That's a hit. Doesn't even need to be boosted. And no boost on this one. So it's strength 14 plus 7 is 21, so that only does 1 point of damage. So we'll just put that on there. Every little bit counts. Now I'm going to start forcing him. Now remember, her power allows him to be forced outside of her control range. When I say power, I mean feet. So I'll buy an extra attack, and I will boost the attack. So here it goes. That's a hit. Only needed a 4-up, and it's strength 20, as you may recall. So this goes straight onto the boxes. There's 14 damage. So I've done 10, 20, 25 damage so far. And let's go ahead and buy an extra attack. And that will hit with a 5. It's not boosted because he is now at his... Oh no, he has 4 fury. So let's go ahead and boost the damage. And go ahead and... so 20 damage base plus 12. So that is 25. That's 37 points of damage on a heavy warjack. So that kills this guy, horridly I might add. And so now, because of her feat, the feat's name is Call of the Hunt. So at the end of his activation, he can be placed within 3 inches of Kaya. So I place him in here. Later I can activate the Spirit Stones and do other shenanigans if need be. He has 4 fury on him. And guess what? Now I have this guy. So I killed the Jack. He's now a wreck marker. And now I can activate this guy. And so as you can see, I can maybe kill some of the mechanics, go for a different target. And I really think if you do that little maneuver right, you could possibly take out 2 of the heaviest warjacks in 1 turn. Or with Berserk, which gives the Stalkers a bonus attack. And in fact, the way I'm reading it is it doesn't stop. Every time they kill something, they keep getting to attack. And the beauty of it is they can run up, do all of that damage, and then teleport out. So the next guy that runs up with Berserk can do the same thing. So, and not have to attack his compatriots, because that's the downside of Berserk, as it says, has to attack a model, something like that. So anyway, you get the point. War Machine is fascinating. Just get your battle group together, get the rule book, and just pour over it. And even, I mean, you could do test runs with just slips of paper as opponents and just measure it out, get a feeling for the distances and the different things that your guys can do and how they work together. So after having messed around a little bit with this, I have basically, I'm pretty excited to play this army. I know that Jordan plays Khador. He's seeing me plotting his demise. So I have no doubts that, see, look at him. He's already looking at his cards. He's plotting how to counter my strategy, and I'm certain that there is something to that, which is basically give his guys heavier armor, use a Warcaster that gives Khador an insane reach, although I really doubt at full force you can pin down Orboros just because they're so fast, but we'll see. And another note, in case you haven't already fallen fast asleep listening to me drone on and on about this, is that Orboros is one of a few armies in War Machine and Hordes that is based on maneuverability. That really, that is their key strength, is being able to move around the battlefield. Battlefield. All right, well, hope you enjoyed, and as usual, I have to say that we are a miniatures painting studio. We're always ready to do your army on commission. We have lots of different specials, notably a turbo army. A turbo, it's the biggest bang for your buck. You decide which faction you want, and then we decide everything else, but you do get a notable discount for that. You can always do a la carte, which is you pick and choose exactly what you want. In the liner notes, I'm going to give a link to a great website called Battle College. It basically explains the strengths and weaknesses very well. It gives you some strategies and tips on the various warcasters. Also, a new thing I'm running for the time being, for a turbo army, I am allowing you to pick the Warcaster or narrow it down to a number of Warcasters if you want to have a particular person. So there it is. Hope you got your inspiration for the day. So there it is. That's not my new tagline.